it's really hard to say, oh my gosh, 8 o'clock, I'm winding down. Now I got to jump on a Zoom. So hopefully if you are, joining us, you're relaxing, sit back, enjoy the information. We're so glad you made it. And if you have not put into the chat already, you see the image on the screen, hopefully, that says, how many fruits and veggies are you eating every day? So, and then you can also put in there where you're from. One of the things I want to tell you is that we have a lot of awesome stories tonight and speakers. And so we're going to be running through the slides a little bit quicker than I normally do. I'm not going to probably go into as much information. So if you want more information specifically about something, please feel free to ask the person that invited you. We also are not going to go into great detail on cardiovascular health. We're going to kind of do an overview of this. And it's really, again, about the stories. So we do have other Zooms. Being a part of this community, I love this community because if you were on when Doug was talking, almost 18 years ago, I became a part of this community in May, which I can't even believe. And, before then, I was not really that healthy. And this community has not only motivated me, but kept me on track for sure. But we have, the great thing is that we have so many different resources. We have so many health professionals that really are the experts, and they do Zoom. So if somebody really wants a more detailed heart Zoom event, we can give that to you. So let's go ahead and get started. And if you guys have any questions during the event, please put that in the chat and we can try and address that at the end if we can. All right, so we are unhealthy. Let me do this. 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 will have diabetes. 1 in 5 children is obese. And then Dr. David Katz, our children are more harmed by poor diet than by exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. I want these next few slides to really kind of sink in, because as I was putting this together, it really is, some of it's just shocking. All right, how come it's not moving for me? Come on. Cardiovascular disease, if you guys did not know, is the world's #1 killer. Okay, 31% of all global deaths is due to cardiovascular disease. 17.8 million deaths every year from cardio. That's a lot of people. There's risk factors, and a lot of these are comorbidities: the high blood pressure, the diabetes, the unhealthy diet, obesity, physical inactivity. So that's why we're talking. But the good news, and this is where I'm going to share a little bit about my mom's story, where, I mean, gosh, it was probably 17 years ago. I wanted to put this in here to give you guys hope, because my mom was a nurse and she actually found out, and this is also another suggestion for you, because health insurance doesn't really, in my opinion, they don't pay for some of the preventative screenings that they should. My mom actually went to a health fair and they were doing the ultrasound where they were doing your arteries or carotid arteries, and I think in the legs. And that's where she found out that she had blocked carotid arteries. And one of her arteries was like over 90%. And she was a person who, because she was a nurse, she went to the doctor. That was not one of the screenings that they do at the, during a doctor visit. So when she went to go visit the cardiologist about this, he actually told her, and I think she was about 74 at the time, and he said, you can actually reverse heart disease. And my mom was not taught that as a nurse, and I don't think most people are taught that. So I want you guys, if you're interested in this or you know somebody, screenshot these 2 books, because the cardiologist actually told her, you need to go home and order Dr. Dean Ornish's book. And read that. And there's recipes in that book as well. And Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn has the same thing. Awesome book, recipes in there. So I don't understand why asking people to eat a well-balanced vegetarian diet is considered drastic, while it is medically conservative to cut people open or put them on powerful cholesterol, lowering drugs the rest of their lives. That's Dean Ornish. And then Dr. Michael Greger, if that's all a healthy plant-based diet could do, is reverse heart disease, the #1 killer of men and women in the US, shouldn't that be the default diet until proven otherwise? So I'm not telling you have to be vegan. I'm not telling you have to be vegetarian. I'm telling you that we need to eat more fruits and vegetables. That's kind of the main focus of this. So our food quality, and one of the reasons, and you're going to see we need to eat even more fruits and vegetables than we initially thought, years ago when it was 5 to 9, is our food quality is decreasing. More than 50% of what we eat is processed. It's in a box and it has a label ingredients. When you go to the produce section, apples, carrots, they don't have a label, like they don't have an ingredients label. It's just what it is. It's produce. And then broccoli, think about the transportation involved. We're getting berries from Mexico and produce from all over. Broccoli can lose 50 to 80% of the key nutrients before you even purchase it. Oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is something that's happening to all of us as we're just sitting here. Okay, it's aging. So oxidative stress causes something called free radicals, and free radicals damage your cells. And what it does is it causes aging and disease. The good news is antioxidants, which are only found in fruits and vegetables, help to protect those cells from oxidative stress. So all of us need, antioxidants. I don't know who doesn't want to prevent anti-aging, but it also helps to prevent, the disease and keep our cells healthier. So this might be shocking to some of you. I know it was to me when they upped this, but think about the last slide where it said that because of our produce, the transportation and all the different things, we need actually 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. And if you're an athlete and you work out a lot, or you're under a lot of stress, or you have current health issues going on, you need even more. So why so many? We talked about the produce is picked before nutrition fully develops, transported thousands of miles. 90% of Americans don't eat enough servings of fruits and vegetables. They think that about 93% of Americans are not getting the 7 to 13. And 7 is for kids, 9 is for women, and 13 is for men. And then we don't get enough of the variety of the rainbow. Think about the picture in the beginning with the heart and all the different fruits and vegetables. And how many, I know in our family, because my kids are so picky, we eat the same fruits and vegetables all the time. So we are not getting a huge variety. So that brings us to Juice Plus. And one of the reasons that we wanted to just share all this with you, because it's simple. It's a simple way to help your family get more nutrition into the diets every single day. And I want to just tell you, I don't have a heart health story, but I do have a little bit of story. Again, my mom was a nurse. I actually was adopted. I grew up with allergies, asthma, and my birth mother had that. And I was told it was genetic, nothing that we could do. So my whole life I was on allergy medicine, asthma medicine. I had migraines, digestive issues until I was in my 30s and somebody introduced me to Juice Plus. I happened to be pregnant. So I was actually concerned more about my kids having allergies and asthma when they were born. And thankfully they don't. So by the end of the pregnancy, I realized I had not needed the Juice Plus, or oh my gosh, I'm sorry guys. I had not needed any of the medication, the allergy medication, the asthma medication. I have not been on antibiotics in almost 18 years because of Juice Plus. And I was only on the fruits and vegetables. We'll go into this a little bit more. I'll show you a slide with all the ingredients. And it was amazing to me that the nutrition just from those little capsules made that big of a difference, that I started to eat a little bit healthier. A lot of times Juice Plus becomes a catalyst for people to eat healthier. So I'm hoping that you guys were able to read the slide while I was talking. Juice Plus, this slide is amazing for me. If you take a look at all of the nutrition, all of the fruits and vegetables and berries on this slide, imagine your body getting that nutrition every single day. And like I said before, I know we get apples, we get bananas, we get carrots, we get broccoli. I probably buy maybe 6 to 10 different things on here, but I certainly am not buying 30. My body is not getting, and I don't even know where to buy black currants. I wouldn't know how to cook an artichoke. Maybe some of you do, elderberries. So take a look at some of those and think, oh my gosh, we're never eating beets. We're never eating kale. So it's just the nutrition that your body is, going to get with the trio, what we call the trio blend, is awesome. Plant-based omegas. We have an omega. I'm sure everybody has heard about omega-3s. And the Juice Plus Omega Blend is omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. You probably have never heard that you needed all of those and that they're beneficial, but the omega fatty acids support a broad array of health benefits, especially the heart, brain, joints, skin, and the eyes. And what was mind blowing to me a few years ago is when we were introduced to this product and they introduced it to us at conference, is that I always thought, and I think most people do, that omega-3s come from fish. Well, the omega-3 doesn't come from fish. The fish have the omega-3s because of the food they're eating, because of the algae, because of the seaweed and the stuff in the ocean. So the Juice Plus company has actually bypassed the fish. We're helping to save the fish. And we have our own algae farms in Hawaii. And then they get like sea buckthorn berry from I think like the Himalayan mountains. So look at all the great nutrition that your body is going to get, and it's plant-based. I think most people would be very happy to not have the fishy burps anymore. The Juice Plus Complete Shakes, these are just delicious. I know when I started working out with a trainer in my 20s, and he was always like, you need more protein, you need more protein. And I tried to use shakes and I would get bloated. I didn't feel good. They didn't taste good. There's a lot of shakes on the market, guys, like hundreds of them. Juice Plus is different. It's vegan. It's made with non-GMO ingredients, gluten and dairy free, 13 grams of protein, 8 grams of fiber. It's low glycemic, which is really important. Low glycemic means that the sugar and the fiber are 1-to-1. So your blood sugar is stabilized. And so you're not going to get this spike and then crash. It's actually going to stabilize it, and it's also going to keep you full. Hopefully you were looking at some of the amazing ingredients in here. My joke is always like, if you took all of these ingredients separately and put them in the blender, I can't imagine it would taste very good, but somehow the company has made these just delicious. Oops, I went too far. So the Juice Plus Perform is our new kid on the block, and I'm so excited about the Perform. It is the same idea as the shakes before. It's a shake powder, except it is a little bit different. The one before can be used as a meal replacement. This one is really powered for performance, for after a workout. So it is 25 grams of plant-based protein. It is for muscle growth, muscle recovery. It is for memory. It is for, I can't even remember everything, energy production, mental performance, and there's different ingredients than what is in the complete. But it's not just for people that work out. I know that I am vegetarian, and this is a great source of protein for me because I'm not eating animal protein. So a lot of people that are plant-based, they're vegan, they're vegetarian. This is such an easy and simple and delicious way to get more plant protein into your diet every day. So Juice Plus is unique. I know we didn't go into a huge discussion about why it's different than a multivitamin. I want you, if you're taking a multivitamin at your house, to go take a look at the label and see what kind of label it has. Juice Plus has a food label. It means it has nutrition facts written on it. Most multivitamins have supplement facts on there. It's made with non-GMO ingredients. It's vegan, it's kosher, it's dairy, and it's gluten-free. It is NSF certified. NSF is a National Sanitation Foundation, which is a third party, and they come in and they test the powders to make sure that they're safe for human consumption. There's no bacteria, herbicides, pesticides, lead, anything that is unsafe for us. And we actually take it one step further, and we have them test certain batches for NSF, for sports certified, and they test for, I think it's 136 different banned substances. What is most important on here, honestly, even though the other two are really impressive, is it is the most researched brand named nutritional product in the world. We actually have 44 clinical research studies published in medical journals. So I am super excited. I know I raced through a lot of that information. I messed up a little bit because I was trying to go so fast, because what is most important to me, honestly, is the stories. And I'm super excited for you guys to hear Bart, because he has a really inspirational story.
Thanks, Karen. So why am I here? Hopefully in the next couple of minutes, we'll be able to answer that question. But I'm going to take you back to 2017, January. I was laying in a hospital bed. I had just suffered a TIA, which is a mini stroke. For those of you who don't know, I was 317 pounds, and my son was sitting next to me, and I had decided that I needed to change some things in my life. Now, what I didn't know is that I have pretty much spent my entire life, and most of it with an undiagnosed defect in my heart. I have a bad beat rhythm in my heart, which is actually what led to my stroke, but I didn't know it at that point in time. I just thought I was really overweight. So my goal was to shed weight, and I took it very seriously, and I was able to shed about 50 pounds, but then I had gotten way too carried away, and I was trading calories not going into my body for the nutrients that my body needs. And I had plateaued, and I was stuck for about 3 months. And that is when a very good friend of mine, Melissa, you'll meet her in a second, introduced me to Juice Plus. And what it did was it gave my body the nutrients that I needed, and it made my workouts better, and it made my recovery times better. And I was able to shed the weight, and I actually ended up dropping 107 pounds, which still amazes me. But I swear by it from there, and it became part of my daily regimen, and I kept using Juice Plus. So last Memorial Day weekend, I spent the weekend in the hospital again. And this is actually when my diagnosis came through. My heart had skipped out of rhythm, and being the stubborn Irish jerk that I am, didn't go to the hospital for 2 days. By the time I got to the hospital, my resting heart rate, which is for a normal adult is somewhere between 60 and 80, was peaked out at 217. So my heart was on its way to exploding, basically. And as they were rushing me back in, the one thing that the cardiologist said to me that sticks with me constantly is, I don't know how you are awake and talking to me right now. So that is why I'm here. I am here because of my Juice Plus regimen. That is what I believe. And that is why I share all of this with everyone. So I am going to pass this off to Melissa now.
Thank you, Bart.
You're welcome.
Wow. I've heard that story before, but every time I hear it, like Karen put in the comments, it amazes me. So we've heard a lot of good information tonight, and we're going to hear a little more. My name is Melissa, and I'm a clinical staff pharmacist at a local hospital network. And I'm going to tell you briefly about the research with Juice Plus, because this is something that's near and dear to me with my full-time job. And this is what we learned in school. So this is 20 years of research, more than 40 studies. I think there's 42 studies right now. And these 44. Are performed at high standards at notable hospitals and universities across the globe. So you can see some of these. We're not going to read through all of them, but we're in the Netherlands, we're in Italy, North Carolina, South Carolina, University of Maryland. We'll talk about that study later. Germany, all over. So what's a gold standard method? So randomized. You don't know which group you're going in. Double blind. I'm the only girl that knows what you're getting. Placebo controlled. Tested on the product itself. So why is that important? So rather than just test on a blueberry, they're testing on the actual berry product that is the Juice Plus capsule. And what that means is it gives us the ability to check the bioavailability of the Juice Plus capsules. So what's bioavailability? That's how anything we put into our bodies makes it into our bloodstream. The level at which it makes it into our bloodstream, once it's in our bloodstream, we can absorb it. So increased bioavailability means increased goodness to me. unless it's something toxic. That goes both ways. So we also have peer-reviewed journals, and the studies are ethical, and they're done on humans. So on the next slide, we're going to see a couple of the results of the studies. So the research results have attracted thousands of doctors. So Dr. Richard Dubois says there's nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. So the whole point of this talk tonight is to just give you an update on heart health. Karen showed us in the beginning, 1 in 4 men and women will die of heart disease. And that's crazy. And what's the first thing we see here on the list? Juice Plus contributes to cardiovascular wellness, inflammatory responses, supports healthy cholesterol, LDL, and triglyceride metabolism. I've seen this firsthand with my father and my niece. So my niece after her 15th birthday had routine blood work, and her cholesterol was elevated, and her good levels were up. Her good levels were down, her bad levels were up, and that's not good. She was just a kid. So what her family did was decrease processed meals, no more ramen for the kid. She has pretty much limited ice cream. She already took the fruits and veggies for free, and I'll tell you how later. And she added the Juice Plus vegan omegas to her regimen. Now she's still a kid, so she still has ice cream, and she doesn't take her omegas every day, she said. But I'm just going to look at my phone to look at her results. So her HDL cholesterol, which you know is the good cholesterol, went up by 17%, and this is in 12 months. Her LDL cholesterol, the bad stuff, went down 11%. Non-HDL, which is also bad, went down 13%. Her cholesterol could stand to go down. That is the lowest number, but her triglycerides dropped nearly 30%. And this is just within a year. And the funny thing I want to add about her is my sister told me, she was just going to take medicine. She didn't care. She was just going to take some pills. I don't think at 15, you should just say, I'm just going to take some pills for the rest of my life. So now I'm going to tell you about a study that was so impressive. So the study technically was called The Effect of Phytonutrients on the effects of phytonutrients on the impairment of flow-mediated brachial artery vasoactivity after a high-fat meal. And this was done by the Journal of the American College of Cardiology at the University of Maryland. So what we're looking at here, we're going to compare, so your brachial artery is in the top of your arm, and they used an ultrasound to measure the size of your artery. So just like your eyes, bigger is dilated, smaller is constricted. So they compared a placebo is on the left, fruits and veggies is in the middle, so that says JP plus, and then JP plus V on the right is fruits, veggies plus berries. So the berries used to be known as the vineyard blend. Okay, so we have those three. Then what you're looking at is the red is on day 1 when we started, the blue, week 3, and the yellow, week 4. So the results of this study, what they found was at 3 weeks and then continuing at 4 weeks. And I believe even farther, the amount of artery constriction, so from here to here, after a high-fat meal with Juice Plus fruit, veggie, and berry was essentially 0. So no constriction, almost no constriction. So that is, if you're looking, someone unmute if you're not following this. So that is that little tiny yellow box showing minimal constriction. As compared to placebo, you can see on the left, the constriction is almost 50%. It's at about 40%. So that means you're eating a high-fat meal. And if your artery is down here, your blood's not flowing through there. And that is a lot of heart disease. So how can we help? What else does the research show? So I told you how Aubrey, my niece, got her fruits and veggies for free. So that is through something called the Family Health Study. So the Family Healthy Starts program is where kids can get free product from the ages of 4 to 18 up through university for 4 years for free. So my sister ordered it, and then my nephew got it for free. And then I ordered it and I got it for my niece for free. So again, we didn't stop with the research here. So research has shown after these kids were taking their fruits and veggies, 60% were missing fewer days of school, 56% were taking fewer over-the-counter prescription drugs. And this stands out to me. I got to a point in my career, why am I treating people? I'd like to prevent illnesses, prevent and reverse heart disease. That's Karen showed us that as well. 66% were visiting the doctors less, 71% were consuming less fast food, and 61% were eating more fruits and veggies. And more than 1 million families have participated in the family health study. So the last part of the research we'll talk about is the Tower Garden by Juice Plus. So the research did not skip this hydroponic aeroponic tower garden. Done at the University of Mississippi, compared to a soil garden, the tower garden is proven to grow 3 times faster and produce 30% more bigger produce using minimal water and space. I have mine in my kitchen. Sorry, there's a cat fight behind me there. And it's amazing. It takes up just a little bit of space, and I cannot wait to see what I can gain from it and what I can grow and eat right in my home. So I'm going to pass it on to Melody, who is going to share her story, and she'll be followed by Doug, who will tell you a little bit about our mission and why many of us have joined this unique business opportunity. So Melody, passing it over to you.
All right, thanks, Melissa. Well, I just wanted to share just a little bit of a story about us regarding our son. So I started taking Juice Plus as a prenatal vitamin when I was pregnant with my second child. And when my son was born, we found that he had 3 congenital heart defects. And at first it was kind of a watch and wait type thing. But by the time he was 5 months old, the one hole in his heart, basically there were 3 holes, and the one hole was so large that they said we had to go in surgically because it became life-threatening for him. So when he was 5 months old, in the middle of a pandemic, we went in for open heart surgery for our baby. And obviously it was like the most stressful life event me or my husband had ever been through. And this, he's not even 2 yet, so it's still fairly fresh in our minds. And they told us during the pre-op to be expected to be in the hospital for an average of 5 to 10 days, which is actually quite quick, but babies recover faster than adults, but they said probably 5 to 10 days. And that also, because I was a nursing mom, I probably wouldn't be able to nurse for several days because of the swelling and the breathing tube and all that. So the first day was really, really tough because the day of the surgery, because we had some really scary moments where he just didn't respond well after the surgery. The surgery itself went well, but that initial recovery period was really scary. And so only one of us was allowed to stay. So I was commuting, and I was literally just living on no sleep and takeout. So instinctively, I was taking extra Juice Plus just for energy during that time. And by the first day post-op, I became pretty adamant about wanting to nurse him, just because emotionally I just needed that, that bonding with him to reconnect. And so they were really supportive, and the nurses, they helped with all the tubes and everything attached. And after that moment, he had this amazing turn around with his recovery. And we went home the morning of the 3rd day after surgery, which was like a miracle. And it was shocking. They were all shocked. He had surgery on a Monday. We were discharged Thursday morning, and they said that had never happened. Everyone told us, they're like, this has never happened. We can't believe how fast he's recovering. So one of the things that's really common with open heart surgery is that there's always a residual hole because of just the nature of it. But it's usually small. And they said it's the biggest thing is that he would need antibiotics anytime he gets any work above the heart, which includes twice a year dental cleanings. And being in the chiropractic field and alternative medicine and having had a lot of bad effects from antibiotics in my own life, that was like a really tough pill for me to swallow. But they said there's a possibility that over the years it could close on its own, but it would, be probably years, and it's kind of a crapshoot if that would ever happen. So we started giving him the gummies. He started asking for them before he was a year old, and I didn't even know he was allowed to have them. So I said, sure. And we went back about 6 months ago to the cardiologist, and they did a scan of his heart, and he was a little wiggly, so they weren't entirely sure, but they said it looks like that closed completely. So I'm going to check it again in a year. But he said, I don't know, that's pretty remarkable, like, because you're not even a year post surgery. But he said, if it looks like this next year, he won't need antibiotics anymore. We'll have considered him 100% clear. And to me, that's just our story. I don't know how much of this is a result of, the breastfeeding and the Juice Plus that I was taking and giving him the gummies at such a young age. I have no idea. But what I do know is that this is really amazing research, and I am going to get behind a company that offers this type of research. And if I'm going to search the world over, which I did, being in this field, we searched the world over looking for a good whole food vitamin to give my kid with our first daughter. Like, I'm going to put my money on this because this is giving my son his best shot at a healthy life. So thank you for letting me share.